Gathering notes, specific emphasis or specific examples. Although they give us pointers on these notes, it's not bad to read these notes. Make sure you do that, right? Make sure you do read these points. You don't have to, it's not necessary. However, I would recommend you do so, especially if your reading level is so-so. Why do I say this? Because our main focus is actually here. Make sure you guys unpack, oops, make sure you guys unpack the question, identify what is required of the question, and what is required here is that we need to use relevant information to show or emphasize the significance of Ochoa's discovery. So the answer needs to show us significance. The answer needs to show us importance, right? And if you read through each answer choice, let me highlight it here, right? Proved critical to deciphering. Whoa, right? Does critical emphasize significance? Kind of does so, I think, right? Answer B, first discovered, right? Answer C, discovered. Answer D, incorrectly hypothesized. So which answer shows us how critical this discovery was or how significant this discovery was? Obviously, answer A, because critical does mean very important to the point that without it, you won't be able to do X, Y, or Z. Question number 25. So this is what I meant by maybe you should get an idea of what the points are saying. The question asks us, if we unpack the question, it asks us to contrast the emissivity, I'm saying that correctly, of reflective metal fibers with that of silicon carbide fibers. Answer A and B, they don't show us a contrast. And what is a contrast? It means to show us differences, right, between 2 points or 2 ideas. And answer C will look though and whereas. And these two conjunctions indicate a contrast. So now we need to contrast both or the emissivity of reflective metal fibers and carbon fibers or carbide fibers, excuse me. See, though the reflective metal fibers and silicon fibers had different rates of emissivity, Abib or Abibi planned to use both in a garment, okay? Whereas the reflective metal fibers had an emissivity of 0.02, the silicon carbide fibers absorbed large amounts of heat, resulting in emissivity of 0.74. I like answer D. It shows us the difference between the two. It is much more specific than answer C. And the problem with answer C is, well, the end here, he used both. So it doesn't really show us how different they are. So I don't like answer C. It's not specific enough, nor does it complete the requirements of the question. Go with answer D here. Welcome back. So let's unpack the question for number 26. The student wants to present the significance of the Hart-Celler Act to an audience unfamiliar with the history of U.S. immigration. So there's a couple of things here. We need significance of the act, and we need something to describe to the audience that may be unfamiliar with the history of U.S. immigration. This is what I mean by maybe you might have to read points, because if you go through the answer choices, I mean, A doesn't show me significance, right? B, does it show me significance? I don't know. C, does it show me significance? Maybe. Significance means something really important, so there needs to be a strong word. But does it show us history? I don't know. All right. C, difference between D and C is that D actually gives me background information about the quota system. But here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of I don't knows. But if you read through now the actual points, which takes like 30 or 40 seconds, then you'll be able to recognize that, well, there's a strict quota system. The number of new immigrants were based on how many people from that country lived in the US. The system favored immigrants from Northern Europe. Surprise, surprise. Almost 70% of slots were reserved for immigrants from Great Britain, Ireland, and Germany. The 1965 Hart-Celler Act abolished national origins quota system. So basically, the quota system before 1965 preferred Europeans. After 1965, after the Hart-Celler Act, it preferred, or it didn't prefer anyone, it just abolished this preference. So I like answer D as the best answer. Why do we say answer D? Well, in 1965, the Hart-Celler Act was abolished. It was removed. Why? Because it favored immigrants from Europe. If you didn't know what it did, the Hart-Celler Act, then you would have a hard time actually choosing an answer. And this is why I say, well, spend the 30 seconds just reading these points. You won't lose anything. This is going to be a game of patience for a lot of you guys, because anybody can answer, but not anybody has the patience to just read through the points and answer the questions. And I want you guys to know that 1 minute and 20 seconds or 1 minute and 15 seconds is way more than enough time to read through an answer. You don't need to answer in 30 seconds. You don't gain extra points if you answer the test faster. Another thing or another question where, hey, take the 20 seconds to read the points. And so here, if I read the points in question number 27, the Women in the Vote is an interactive play where you can click in, understand, or click and play, something like that, right? And so the question is asking us, well, what is an advantage of the format to display? So I'm looking for some sort of advantage. And here, the best answer was answer C, why the Women in Vote format appealed to audiences. Okay, why did it appeal to audiences? Because it allowed them to control the experience. What control are we talking about? We're talking about click and play, focus on, little rooms and click on it and enter that room. And so answer C indicates to us an advantage of the format that this play is given in. This was test number 3, module 2. You can learn anything. Mr. Sima out. Bye.